Hello, everyone. We're so sorry for the delay so far, but I think we're good to start. Hi, Elod. How are you doing?
Hi everybody. All good. It's a pretty nice Friday afternoon. I'm in Eastern
Yeah.
Europe, so it's almost like the end of the workday here. But it's actually good to end the work week on this note. And thanks for inviting me, and thanks for the coverage that you guys are trying to provide for Lara itself.
Oh, thank you so much for joining. Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Taraxa Catalyst Twitter Amy session, and we're very thrilled to have you guys join us. So we're gonna kickstart while we have other people join us. So for those who are new, Terasa Catalyst is a community driven initiative focused on empowering the Terasa ecosystem. And we bring together passionate Terexans to collaborate, amplify, and to elaborate more on the Terasa message and drive the project growth. In the fast paced world of crypto, a very strong community is more than just support, it is the lifeblood of a project. So, I am Betty and I am your host for today. So we in Taraxa, we believe that we believe in the power of collaboration. So whether you're a developer, you're a marketer, or simply a Taraxan, there's always a place for you here. So our DMs are always open. We can discuss on different ways you can leverage your skills and interests to make a real impact in our community. So before we dive into the Q&A with Eliud, I'd like to take a moment to appreciate the Allium Fund, which has made this AMA possible, and as a community fund dedicated to propelling Terasa forward. So Allium is a shining example of what we can achieve, what can be achieved, what we've already achieved, and what is how we can come together to have support towards a common goal. So today we have Eliud Varga. Please, do I have the name correct?
Yeah. You're pretty on spot.
Okay. So we have Eliud here. He's the Terexian dev behind Lara, and Lara is an upcoming liquid staking solution. So once again, welcome today, Eliud. It's very, very good to have you with us.
Yeah, just like I told you guys, thrilled to be here. And I'm thrilled to actually provide some good recorded information for the whole Trax ecosystem. And also thank you guys to actually like provide this and for the provision of the opportunity and the information to the whole community. This is going to be like a lot of information, a lot to digest, probably. I'm really
Yeah.
curious about the questions that you prepared for us, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be valuable information for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I know everyone would love to hear, what you have. So, can you just tell us a little bit about your role in the Terraxa ecosystem and,
Yeah,
particularly on Lara?
yeah. I mean, my role is pretty straightforward. I came in kind of like 2.5 years ago as part of the Tarax ecosystem team. Back then, we were kind of like focused on creating like the minimum requirements for the ecosystem to actually work, like a community site where people can claim their bounties, their rewards, stake, and make like really just the basics of like an on-chain ecosystem. And it kind of grew out by time, and we are right now to the point where we really are like 100% sure that Taraxa itself as a layer one is stable enough, and it kind of like is validated to scale and to solve like kind of like not only the blockchain trilemma when it comes to technical problems and feasibility, but also like real world use cases and real world solutions are provided by it. Yeah, and since that's kind of like validated now, we are all about adoption and all about driving the Taraxa ecosystem to be like really used. I mean, like the tech is really cool. Everybody is kind of like amazed about the fact that like we achieved this before Phantom, before a lot of like much better funded protocols and foundations. We are here and we want the tech to be used. So we kind of took our time and identified the main kind of like pillar blocks that need to be delivered so that other protocols can then build on top of Taraxa. And since I was kind of like inclined to, and almost like, I think like interested from the beginning in DeFi, like I've been actively staking on other protocols before that, and been using like we've been like I bought into Ethereum in 2016, and I was still like I'm still holding ever since. So I'm like a pretty OG in the DeFi
Yeah,
ecosystem.
definitely.
I want to like I saw that like without DeFi, kind of like DeFi is the turning point of TVL on a layer one. And what is the most important measurement factor? What is the most important KPI on a layer one right now is TVL, right? Like everybody is trying to rank layer ones by TVL. So we kind of like got to a point, like with Steven, our CEO of the Taraxa Foundation, we kind of got to a point where like we realized that without DeFi, Taraxa is not really going to go anywhere. So we need DeFi. And for DeFi to be effective and for TVL to be properly multiplied, we need a liquid staking solution because the liquid staked native asset, in our case, the staked Terra, will be kind of like the base asset for the other yield bearing protocols and the yield bearing pairs that will come up after the bridge. So yeah, that's where we kind of like realized that yeah, Lara is required, and the name actually comes from like liquid staking on Taraxa. So there's Lara. It was like a pretty straightforward naming choice. Um, yeah, and that's kind of like my role. I led the development of the smart contract suite. My colleagues Guy and Florin did some testing and some like most of the UI work for the protocol, and then we kind of like hit a roadblock um, a few months ago because this protocol was actually intended to be delivered at the end of Q1 of this year, but we hit the roadblock as I told you, and for that to be solved, we needed a hard fork, and that hard fork, the proof of concept for that hard fork was delivered a few days ago. Hence, all the buzz of like um, re-announcing the protocol. I'm actively doing a lot of testing and a lot of like smart contract DOS stuff right now behind the scenes to ensure that like everything is working properly inside the protocol itself. But so far so good. And yeah, I think we are poised to actually get Lara active and working on the mainnet very soon.
Oh, that's perfect. That sounds really interesting. But what actually got my attention is the staking part. So, can you please elaborate on how Lara simplifies staking for users?
Yeah. So probably for the ones of you that kind of like were in the Taraxa ecosystem for quite a while now, either as an investor, spectator, or just somebody who is kind of like speculating with the asset itself, saw that for staking right now there is no whole solution. Our community site, like the official Taraxa community site, provides you staking pretty easily with the native asset. But you need to have done KYC. You need to have a proper account set up on the community site. And if you don't have that, or you don't have an opportunity to do KYC, like you're a US state citizen, or you are from like um, yeah, China, Russia, or any other non KYCable regions, then you cannot really use a user interface directly to just click some buttons and stake your Terra to get some real juicy APY out of that. Um, so yeah, that's like one big problem. It's not easy to stake Taraxa right now for everybody in the whole world. And the second thing is that that solution requires additional automation for it to be like auto compounded. Right now, you can go to the community site, you can manually claim your rewards, and you can restake them. Take them out, claim them, put them back, stake it again, etc., etc. So it's not really convenient for use. Now, the Lara UI is going to help you make this much easier, and especially the smart contract suite is going to provide you like such ease in comparison to what you need to do right now, because the only thing that you need to do to get inside the Lara ecosystem is you will go to our UI, which is pretty similar to the one that was like kind of like exposed. I think the guys from Taraxa Insider found it with a subdomain search, the UI itself or the bridge. You just need to go there, add your amount of Terra, stake it once, and you will receive a staked Terra token back, which is a derivative of like an ERC20 token, a simple token. And that the system itself inside then will actually do everything else for you. It will claim your rewards like inherently, like the real staking rewards, and it will mint you automatically additional stake Terra. So let's say that you staked 1,000 Terra with Lara, you will get back then 1,000 stake Terra, and then let's say every day when Lara is actually claiming your staking rewards, one day it claimed 10 Terra, it will instantly mint you another additional 10 stake Terra, so you will have 1,010 stake Terra, and it will automatically like restake it, so it will compound like all the staking interest that you get all over the year. It's pretty similar to what Lido is doing with the liquid staked ETH derivative. But I think really there is no other additional technical fireworks that need to be done there. This is pretty easy, straightforward, and very easy to use. The only thing that you need to do is to just hold your stake Terra, because if you trade away your stake Terra, then you're not going to get your rewards anymore. You need to hold the stake Terra. That's very important.
Okay, that was pretty elaborate. Okay, so moving on to the next question. How do Lara oracles help with validator selection?
Yeah, so this is kind of like a novelty that we are going to introduce. We did a pretty thorough market research on Ethereum, and we came to the conclusion that 99.9%, I'm saying it like this because we found one protocol that then like launched, but it died very soon after, is doing liquid staking on a closed loop, meaning that anybody that actually stakes their Ethereum with them, um, you cannot really see and you cannot really choose what validators your Ethereum is being staked into. They have a closed collaboration with some node runners, and basically, if you stake with Lido, for example, right now, they have a cluster of three validator running companies or protocols, and all the ETH that is staked with Lido goes to validators that are run by that condominium. So that's not really good for decentralization, right? Now, in contrast, Lara will always basically choose the best available validator on the whole validator list on Ethereum without any specific criteria to choose. Like we are never going to feed it any sort of like uh, tampered data or request for like the community Terra to be staked on a specific validator or not. So in the first version, you will not be able to choose what validator you're delegating to. Lara will automatically calculate a specific, well, let's say, score for all the validators that are available right now on chain. This takes into consideration, obviously, the last period's APY for that validator. Um, we are kind of like testing right now with like a daily interval. So Lara basically every day recalculates the APY of all the validators on chain, and then kind of like multiplies that amount or that score that the API of the specific validator is with its continuity data, meaning that if your validator has a high API and had a high API for a very long time before that, then that's kind of like it means that it's a stable validator, right? So more stable validators will always be more preferred by the system itself because they will always get like a better score. And obviously, the third most important factor is the validator's base commission. So we are obviously calculating this into the validator base score, and then the fourth point there to add is really just a time factor, and obviously whether the validator um, has room for additional stake or not. So Larry's kind of going to take care of all of this. We'll do like a specific scoring for every validator available on the chain, and we'll always delegate the amount that's inside the system to the top ones. It's pretty easy to imagine it as a system that kind of like on a daily basis or even more frequently. We are testing a lot of like we have like a lot of data from our previous private network, and we are running like Guy is running a lot of back testing on that to figure out which is the best interval to actually do like the rebalancing factor, how we call it, where all these stakes are moving from different validators in. But as far as we calculated, it's enough to rebalance once every day. Yeah, so the system is always going to make sure that on every given day your stake is at the best validators, basically, without any specific criteria.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, can you shed a little bit more light on the liquid staking? So, what are the advantages of the Tara token, the liquidity staking token?
Yeah, of course. So for the ones that are like a bit more familiar with with DeFi ecosystems in general, um, you guys might already know that um, whenever there is somebody that comes in and takes a look at like, hey, what asset should I invest into? Um, it's a pretty like no-brainer to actually go and buy into a token that gives you a base inherent APY versus the one that doesn't, right? Um, so if you see pools on a DEX with like the staked asset of like a specific native asset of a chain, then like if you're literate in DeFi, you will always understand that if you can buy it at the price of the native asset, let's say if you can exchange 1 Tera to one staked Tera directly, then that's like a very good price. You should always go for it because it has an inherently bigger value. You will always get the chain's overall API on top of that. So let's say that right now 14% is the the yearly APY on Terra. One stake Terra, by this definition, is worth 1.14 Terra over the next year. So this is like one very important factor to understand the staked, like the liquid stake native asset, the stake Terra. The second thing is that uh, the liquid staked native asset derivative is very, very important, because right now, if you stake your Terra, then that Terra is kind of like stuck in there, right? You just go to our DPoS contract, and let's say you have like I don't know, 5 million Terra, you stake into it, and your Terra is there, right? You can't really do anything else with it. Um, this is called in DeFi terms singularity of use. Um, in DeFi, we don't really like singularity of use. And it's not only because you're getting less yields, it's also because if you do actions that are singular when it comes to utility, you're capping the chain's TVL. If you do the same with the liquid staked asset, then basically you can go to any protocol that kind of like recognizes that, hey, like this token is not a simple ERC20, it's not a shitcoin, it's the staked Terra, which is the liquid stake native asset, and its pools or its deposit vault or something recognizes this. Then the most important thing is that your Terra is already staked with the Lara system. So there's one utility. And then you use the staked asset to actually basically do any other DeFi activity with the derivative of the native asset. Therefore, there's like the second utility of the same actual value, hence the multiple use cases. So this is kind of like how a liquid staked asset is solving the native asset singularity problem. And then obviously with restaking coming into play earlier this year and late 2023, we have seen that on top of like the liquid staking derivatives, there are now protocols that are kind of like multiplying this TVL again, 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 and again. And we can foresee that something like that will anyways be delivered on Taraxa too. So the most important factor is that you should not stake your Terra directly with our DPoS contract if you want to still use that stake Terra inside like any other DeFi activity. Why? Because I mean you just can't. And if you can stake with Lara, then definitely the stake Terra is always like free to use. Just make sure that you are depositing it into a protocol that kind of like recognizes that this is a stake Terra, and it will reroute your additional minted stake Terra to your address.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So, like you said, do not take yet. Um, if you want to use it, of course. So, moving on to the next question. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the DAO governance structure of Lara?
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of like was very stubborn when when everybody was asking me about why is a new DAO and a new token necessary for liquid staking, and why kind of like Lido did the same too. Because I mean, inside the Ethereum ecosystem, there have been like a lot of discussions about like why Lido was like stubborn too and released their Lido token. And I think that's kind of like a necessity, because liquid staking itself kind of like is a backbone of all derivatives on DeFi, first and foremost. And the second thing is that if you're using a liquid staking protocol, and why wouldn't you? Because it's so handy, it's easier to stake with it, you can reuse your Terra tokens, it's just like a no-brainer. But this like, if you think about it, it attracts a lot of the staking percentage on chain, which can be like a huge problem if this power kind of like goes into centralized hands. So, how to fight centralization? There's your answer. DAOs are pretty much the no brainer way to actually ensure that if you get to a point where you have a protocol that is doing something important like securing the network, because that's what staking is for, right? It's not just about uh, the APY that it brings. It's really about staking, like ensuring and securing the chain itself. but then you have a player that has 40% or 30% of the total market. So then, like, what's that? Like, the whole like the whole network is secured by mainly one player. That's no good, right? So there is why I kind of like was stubborn and said that yes, we need a token, and we need a governance token first and foremost, and we need a DAO to kind of like take over Lara later on when it is mature enough so that it can actually live on itself, without any help from me and the other parents of it. Um, and this is where the DAO and the governance structure is going to come in very, very handy, and it's very important for everybody in the Taraxa ecosystem to actually take this seriously, because if you're invested into the Terra token, and you will see that the like a majority of the staking is with Lara or with other liquid staking protocols, then that means that your assets are not secure if that protocol is not secure. And this is why I'm saying that inside the DAO, everybody should be active, and everybody should actually ensure that players in the Lara DAO or any other liquid staking DAO are honest and are facing basically the right decisions for the chain itself. Um, we ensured that inside the Lara inside the Lara DAO governance processes. Um, right now, we are obviously going to be driving this, but later on, just as you guys can see on our docs on the roadmap section, by the end of this year, we would really like to give away all decision making to the DAO itself. Um, and then obviously the governance token will not only give you like access to voting and to making sure that Lara DAO is going to the right direction, liquid staking is going to the right direction, and the chain itself is secured by a decentralized entity, but it's also going to give you different perks when it comes to staking. So you will be able to stake the Lara token to get discounts on the protocol's main commission, and you will also be able to stake it on a milestone basis. So if we are going to have different tiers of like staking milestones, and if you are hitting the highest milestone for a layer being staked, then you will be able to register as an Oracle provider, and the Oracle providers will be able to implement different sort of staking strategies. Now, these staking strategies are going to be custom inside, and right now, I mean, I already kind of like defined you the strategy that we implemented inherently in the protocol itself. So we are taking in consideration the most important criteria for validators to be, well, first and foremost, high API, small commission, and very durable. But then later on, somebody else can come with a different formula that actually yields higher APY on like a yearly basis or a monthly basis. And actually, stakers can choose this when they stake their Terra tokens. And then, if you're actually running the strategy oracle for this, then you're going to get like a specific cut of their yield. So this is going to be like a very, very cool use case for people that want to dip into not only just like passively staking, compounding their interest on the staked Terra that they're going to have, they're going to hold, but they also want to like create alternative staking strategies and maybe explore higher yields.
Okay, thank you so much. So, can you tell us how Lara staking works, and is it decentralized?
Yes, of course. It's fully decentralized, and it's going to be fully permissionless too. Um, like we at the core of the system, basically, we will have three smart contracts. All of them will be public after we audited them successfully, and we are also going to register them to a bug bounty. So I'm really looking forward some whiteheads cracking our code later on. But basically, the backbone of the system is created kind of like by three main contracts. Right now, we are going to have an Oracle contract that is going to feed our validator data. So this is kind of like general. It can be used by other protocols too, and it's going to simply hold a lot of information about the current state of validators on chain, like their yields on the last periods, commission, continuity, etc., etc. So if you're going to create your own protocol and you require this data, then yeah, you're free to just hook into our Oracle contract and you can read it. Why not? The second one is the main Lara contract itself, which is going to kind of like act as a vault for people who come with their own Terra. It's going to stake. It's going to basically offer you the gateway to manage your stake Terra inside. So it's going to stake on your behalf. It's going to restake on your behalf. It's going to kind of like rebalance the system on the behalf of stakers on chain. You will be able to go to the Lara contract if you want to interact with it on chain to actually request undelegations if you want your Terra back. Probably not, because why? But yeah, you will be able to undelegate from there. And yeah, that's kind of it from the Lara end. And then yeah, of course, like the third one and the most important one probably for retail is going to be the staked Terra token itself, which is going to be kind of like an abstraction of an ERC20 where people can trade it freely. Obviously, it's not restricted to be moved anywhere. However, only the Lara contract will be having ownership roles there, and it will be the only smart contract that is able to mint stake Terra and burn stake Terra. Obviously, this is necessary because when people are staking their Terra, then we kind of need to mint stake Terra in exchange for it. And when they want to undelegate, then we need to burn their stake Terra in order to actually unlock Terra from the base DPoS contract on the Taraxa chain. Um, and yeah, basically that's the token that you're going to hold. Like the only thing that you care about after you stake and you're like a passive staker, you're just in Taraxa for the high APY that it brings. You're just going to see your amount of stake Terra in your MetaMask or Rabbi or Trust Wallet or whatever, always going up because of the auto compound. Um, that's kind of like how it works. These three smart contracts are going to do their own things with interaction of the users, of course. Um, and yeah, there is really not much fuss to do about it. Um, Obviously, we are going to give you guys a lot of like analytics and probably like a data dashboard soon, so that you guys can track where your staking went and how it was actually like moving in between validators. Um, Probably this is not going to be delivered in the first version of the UI itself, but it's going to come soon after.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I really want to hear more about, the plans and the developments moving forward. So, for those joined, please, if you have any questions that you like to know more about Lara, please feel free to put it in the comment section. And Elud is here; he'll definitely help us with that. Okay, so going for the last question that we have for today, what are the future project plans and developments for Lara? I'm sure I'm not the only one who'd like to know. Everyone here would also love to know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So first and foremost, we need to ensure that Lara itself is not going to launch uh, a lot later than the bridge itself. So we are looking forward to actually nail down, like this is our highest priority right now, to nail down a specific date with the Taraxa Ledger team for the Cornus hard fork. So this hard fork is actually going to enable the DPoS changes on the undelegation side, so that people can actually take out their Terra seamlessly without any problems. Um, this is going to be our like utmost priority right now. We kind of want to come back to the community with the specific date of launching on mainnet with this, and for that, obviously, we need it. Then before that, we are aiming to actually reward people and give people basically the benefit of coming first inside the Taraxa ecosystem by running a pre-sale before the Corners hard fork actually happens. So we are trying to look for to give the opportunity of buying 10% of the total supply for our early adopters and the early people inside the ecosystem. Um, I recalculated the prices based on the current like price fluctuation of Terra itself, and we are kind of like looking to price in one Lara token to 0.25 Terra. So basically, for like one Terra token will buy you four Lara tokens on the pre-sale, and I'm aiming to actually run this in the first week of July. Um, the pre-sale itself is going to be fully on chain, fully on our domains, and it's going to happen for a week after the Lara token is being deployed. Now, this is very important, and we are going to be very vocal about it. It's going to run only for 1 week, exactly 1 week after the deployment, and any funds that are remaining in the pre-sale contract itself will be burned instantly after this week is over. We have certain limitations for the pre-sale so that we kind of like uh, shield our community from whales. We imposed the limit of 5 million Terra being exchanged, right, like instantly in a single transfer for the pre-sale itself. So if you're actually buying or exchanging 5 million Terra tokens, then you will be restricted for a day. Your address itself. Now, obviously, we cannot really defend against buying from different wallets. This is kind of like an inherent problem of pre-sales themselves. There's no like real technical solution to defend against that besides a whitelist, but we don't really want to do a whitelist. It's there to be picked up by the community, and it's a fair launch, so first come first serve. um, yeah, kind of like that's about the pre-sale. I think this is very very important for everybody because you are going to set the price. If this pre-sale actually sells out, then we are also going to have the proper funds to ensure that everything on the roadmap that is currently in there we can deliver. And yeah, probably for the main and the core liquid staking solution for the chain, that's pretty important. Yeah, and then the next things on our roadmap. By the way, you guys can see our roadmap at docs.tlara.xyz/roadmap. Um, After the pre-sale, we are looking to launch on mainnet. This is going to happen at the same time as the Cornus hard fork is going to commence. Then we are looking to run like a kind of like a trial period. Basically, this is going to be like I'm announcing it right now because I really like transparency. Other DeFi protocols are just like announcing it like a year after that they have an airdrop. I'm telling you right now, we are going to have an airdrop at the end of this trial period. The trial period itself is going to be kind of like a 2 month long time right after our mainnet launch, and we are going to airdrop I think 3%. Let me quickly check from our tokenomics. Yeah, so we are going to airdrop 3% of the total supply to our early adopters. The more Tara you have staked in that period, the higher the amount of your airdrop is going to be. Um, yeah. Then the last thing I think that I can and I want to showcase right now, because I really don't want to talk about the end of the year goals. That's for the next AMA, and I'm really looking forward to deliver that too. But we are already in talks with the other DeFi protocols that are looking to launch on Taraxa itself. We have been long in talks with Fusey app. So they are going to possibly be one of our partners inside Lara. We are talking with the guys from TerraSwap to actually support our stake Terra based pools, and obviously there are many more. You might also be able to kind of like do anything that you do with Terra on Fusey Fox's game too, which is going to be pretty nice because if you're going to have like all your Terra staked, then you will just be able to use stake Terra for anything, just for the ease of use, and then many more to come. We are actively looking to partner basically with anybody, any DeFi protocol or any other protocol that is actively developing on Taraxa. My main goal is really to make sure that the first people that are looking to use Taraxa itself and build on top of Taraxa will have access to basically our full support on the liquid staking derivatives, and they will be like um, fully supported to enter our DeFi ecosystem.
Wow, that's a huge one, honestly. And I, as much as Teresa is a community driven project, this is like next level, and it has amazing retention mechanism. So we have a question from Dandy, and the question is: current stakers will current stakers need to undelegate and wait 32 days to stake Lara?
Yeah, yeah. This is a very important question to ask, and I was really hoping that somebody's going to bring this up because I didn't want to bring the bad news and the good news, but I was prepared. Basically, yes. The answer is yes. Unfortunately, you will need to undelegate. Um, we have been talking with the Ledger team, and like we kind of got to the consensus that it would be too much to actually include this into the hard fork. It's just additional complexity that is inconvenient for the community, yes, but needs to be done because it's not a material that can go into like any chain's hard fork just to support like a migration from like classic staking to liquid staking. Also, we don't really want to enforce as the core Taraxa team like a full migration to liquid staking directly, because this is kind of like why the trial period is there. Over those 2 months, we want to make sure that everything is working smooth, and the Lara smart contracts and the whole system is not aren't like vulnerable to any exploits, any attacks, etc., etc. That's definitely not something that we want to risk. So, kind of like this is why that airdrop for the early adopters is in there. We kind of want to pay it forward to you guys and to ensure that, yeah, I mean, you guys will definitely lose some yield because of these 32 days, but we are trying to minimize that and to pay it back 10 times by allocating like a huge airdrop for people that are actually doing this ahead of time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Hope it answered your question, Dandy. So, I'm guessing we don't have any more questions. So it's good to wrap up. Thank you so much, Elliot, for this, fantastic aiming session. I'm definitely going to read more about, Lara and what you guys are building. So, in case you want the link of, the white paper, it's already in the comment section. You can just check it out, and don't forget to follow Lara on X which is username at Lara underscore DAO. And also, thank you so much for everyone who is here today. We'll definitely have a recap of this AMA session so that you can definitely go through it, because I know that there was just a lot of things to digest at the same time. So we'll ensure that you have a recap of this session so you can read, and ensure to go into Lara Telegram and ask whatever question that you have. I'm sure Elud is there to give you whatever answers that you want. And additionally, would like to extend our gratitude to Allium, the community fund that made this AMA possible. So if you're interested in contributing to the Allium Fund, don't forget to check out the Allium Founders Pass. It has a membership NFT that offers a wealth of benefits, including early access to upcoming projects, attractive discounts, participation to the airdrop, and access to exclusive events. So thank you so much for everyone. Let's work together to ensure, a brighter future for Taraxa and Lara. And we bid you farewell. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.